Tesla is being accused of some pretty crazy stuff in Germany. They're saying that Tesla is driving piles too low into the ground. That means that water is coming through where those holes are where Tesla has put the piles in and going into the groundwater and polluting it, just destroying the groundwater. Is this actually true? In addition to that, environmental protesters, sponsored by Volkswagen, are also saying Tesla is getting preferential treatment. It's not fair, they say. It's not fair. Why is this happening? Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. You probably noticed a bit of tongue-in-cheek there. Now, it is true, it has been confirmed that, the protesters, some of them are being sponsored in part by Volkswagen, by groups funded by the Volkswagen Group. Volkswagen, of course, haven't admitted to that, but it is actually public knowledge, and it is something that I think more people should be aware of, where a lot of these protests are coming from, who these so-called environmental protesters are sponsored by. The reason I say this is really coming down to this reality, which is they don't seem to care at all about the fact that there is a mine not far down the road using 141 times more water than Tesla. The key protest issue is about the water use at Tesla's factory. They don't seem to care at all, and I keep on saying, guys, please, go to that mine. I mean, you do your work, do your stuff, do a good job for us all, and actually help us, because that mine is doing some significant damage. It's an open mine. It's just tearing up the landscape. It's actually a pretty bad eyesore for people in the area, but not only that, it is actually environmentally damaging. There's a good case. Now, is what Tesla is doing in Germany, are they getting preferential treatment, and are they polluting the groundwater? Well, I had a look at the documents. I had a look at the actual facts. It appears as though Tesla has put piles into the ground. The piles are for a solar panels, in fact. Basically, Tesla has installed a bunch of solar panels, and to hold the panels up, they put posts into the ground. But those posts don't go to the water table at all. Environmental protesters are saying they do, but there's no facts to say they do. In fact, the protesters don't even know whether they do or not. They're just speculating that maybe they would, maybe they could, maybe. But if we can't prove this, then we'll burn Tesla's factory to the ground, which is what they recently tried to do. It seems crazy that these so-called environmental protesters are really interested in the environment. I don't think that they are. Now, is there truth that Tesla is getting protection from politicians in Germany? Well, it wouldn't seem like that would be a logical thing to do, considering the fact that Tesla is an American company. Germany is very concerned right now with protecting their own automotive industry. In fact, the reality is that German car companies have received tens of billions of dollars. Tesla, of course, has not. Well, now Tesla is being accused of receiving preferential treatment from politicians in Germany who recognize the advancements the company has made in Europe's transition to sustainable transportation. I actually think Tesla's done the automotive industry in Germany a favor. I mean, not only does it employ more people than most companies in the country, it's actually going to keep jobs in Germany. Why do I say that? Well, the automotive industry in Germany needed a shake-up. They needed to be told, whoa, hang on. Look at our EV sales charts. Tesla's number one. That's embarrassing. Maybe people do want EVs. Maybe we should build production lines. Maybe we should, take this seriously. Now you're probably thinking, yeah, they are. No, BMW, Mercedes, Audi, Volkswagen, they're doing EVs as fast as they can. Don't attack them, Viking. Don't be mean to them. Yeah, that's why EVs represent less than 5% of the cars they sell, because they're taking them seriously. Come on. You can't really believe that. I mean, the media has brainwashed you into the cult, the religious cult of loving legacy brands because you should love them because they pay for our advertising. If you believe that stuff, you're crazy. I mean, I know you guys here don't. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to your friends, your buddies who are right into the legacy brands, the people on Inside EVs who are trashing Tesla all the time, and they're in love with Stellantis. They're in love with the Volkswagen Group. They're in love with General Motors. They think they're wonderful. They're the best car companies on the face of the earth, even though less than 5% of the cars they sell are electric, even though they're basically polluting you. They're damaging you now, today, right now. 95% of the cars they sell today, now, are actually causing massive damage. 6 million people are dying every year from basically primarily traffic fumes. They're adding to that number now. Not last year, not the year before, but today. Politicians should be kissing Tesla's ass. They're basically forcing German automakers to move to EVs. They should be sucking up to them. And if they're not, they're doing the wrong thing. They should be getting Tesla to invest billions and billions of dollars in making millions of EVs in Germany to save Germany's automotive industry. Because if they're mainstream manufacturers, if BMW, Mercedes, Audi, Volkswagen, if these companies, Opel, if they won't do it, like, what they're saying is nice, but it's very future-based, isn't it? It's great. And if they wouldn't do it without Tesla coming in and lighting the fire up their butts, then it's a good thing that Tesla are there. It's a good thing that German politicians are actually, kissing up to Tesla. But are they really doing that? I don't even think they are. Now, notable politicians, including Prime Minister of Brandenburg, Dietmar Woidke, and Economic Minister Georg Steinbach, are getting heat from Brandenburg residents, who, by the way, have just received 13,000 jobs from Tesla, and green groups who believe the automaker is receiving special treatment. It has been a tumultuous few weeks at Gigafactory Berlin, according to Teslarati, and Tesla has faced criminal charges from residents after piles were driven into the ground without a permit, which caused an uprising. Now, these environmental groups are opposing solar panels being installed. Is that a real environmental group that's opposing solar panels being installed? I mean, let's say you covered your house in solar panels and you had to put a couple of poles into the ground, right? Not very deep, but you had to put some poles into the ground to support it. And you had environmental groups campaigning against you in the media, saying you're doing illegal stuff, you're polluting the groundwater and causing economic devastation when they knew that you weren't. Would you really believe they were economic protesters? I don't think you would. Now, Tesla has countered these issues regarding the piles by creating a division to deal with permitting. A division. They're having to create a new division. Must be so good doing business in Europe, right? Having to employ all these people to do basically nothing. This was followed by claims that Tesla's planned expansion of the plant may be met with roadblocks related to a shortage of water and electricity. Brandenburg Prime Minister Dietmar Woidke assured the automaker that the supply issues would be resolved and local government officials would find a fix, which they should, because it's going to create another 10,000 jobs. That's a lot. It's a lot of people. Now, is it going to create 10,000 jobs? Actually, no, it's not. It's going to create a lot more than that because, like I've said many times, people don't seem to listen to this. One job in the automotive industry, one direct job, employs approximately 10 indirect jobs. Now, we know that in Australia because we lost our automotive industry and many, many thousands of people lost their jobs. And that sucked for them. Local residents, though, and green groups cannot understand why the Brandenburg area want to help Tesla to expand their factory. Not help them, but just approve the permits. In a letter to Woidke today, NABU Brandenburg, Green League Brandenburg, who obviously received funding from Volkswagen, and VNLB, three German environmental groups, question the treatment of Tesla, accused the Prime Minister of giving the company treatment that triggers horror and incomprehension among many people in Brandenburg, and especially among members of the nature conservation associations. Triggers horror. Anything like the horror they caused by trying to light Tesla's factory on fire? I'm curious. Is your letter to Tesla a normal practice in Brandenburg? We demand answers, the group said. In the communication, the Green Group state that Tesla is one of the largest emitters of CO2 in Brandenburg. The group also cites that the clearing of forests, which made way for the factory, destroyed substantial populations of snakes, lizards, and insects that once occupied the area. How is this development compatible with the Brandenburg goals for climate, environmental, and species protection? We should do nothing except worship the snakes, frogs, and lizards and insects, they said. I added that last part in there, I didn't say that. Georg Steinbach, economic minister of the area, recently went to Tesla's headquarters in Austin, Texas to discuss the company's needs for the expansion. This is what triggered a bit of the anger that he went there to Austin, because if he went to Texas to speak to Tesla, then there must be something untoward going. This is what he had to say. It was important to give Tesla reassurance of the ongoing support of the Brandenburg government for the potential extension of Giga 4 at Grünheide. So he basically does want Grünheide's success. He wants the additional 10,000 or more jobs. He believes that Tesla building 1 million cars from one factory is economically a good idea. And it's a good idea, not just economically, but in terms of sustainability. Having 20 factories all over Europe is really not that great when you think about the sustainability of a factory, is it? I think it's much better to have it all in one place. In addition to that, Tesla is saying they're able to actually expand from 500,000 cars per year in terms of production to 1 million without using any more water. They come up with a new way of doing that by reusing water. I think Tesla are actually doing a pretty good job when it comes to doing things in a sustainable way. And I've seen a lot of comments. I've seen a lot of people saying Tesla is, raping the landscape, causing economic devastation, causing environmental devastation. I don't think that's actually supported by facts. Just because people argue that they have some reason they hate Tesla or some reason Tesla is doing the wrong thing, it doesn't mean that it's true. So I think it's important to separate facts from feelings. It just seems like in the comments, if you read them, people don't seem to be interested. If Tesla is accused of something, that makes them guilty. Maybe it's not really fair to just assume guilt before you actually find out if there is guilt involved. I don't understand why there's so many thousands of comments everywhere now saying, oh, look, media report, Tesla bad, must be guilty, must, it's Elon Musk. He's the head of the company. He did it. Must be something behind this. I think that's a weird way to live. Like, if someone gets accused of something, like if you get wrongfully accused, and people get wrongfully accused of things all the time. If you get wrongfully accused and someone does that to you, that would really suck. So anyway, those were my thoughts on this situation here. It's worth actually finding out, because a lot of people said Tesla was causing this massive environmental devastation to the water table, right? Because they put these piles in. Now, it turned out there was no truth to those reports at all. Now, Steinbach has been a major proponent of Giga Berlin since its obsession because of its surge in the local economy. He cares about local jobs, and I think that is very important. Giga Berlin is already the largest industrial employer in the area, and that's only 1 year after they've started production. Due to this, the factory has reached a run rate of 4,000 to 5,000 vehicles per week. That's ahead of schedule. Does seem to be going. If you're a Tesla investor or a Tesla fan, it does seem to be going slow. I want them to increase that production, get to that 5,000 vehicles, that 5,000 vehicles per week, get to that 520,000 run rate per year, so 10,000 per week. Really, get to that point as quickly as possible where they can take more gas vehicles off the roads, steal more sales from your competition, because it just means more EVs on the road. That's why I'm really gunning for Tesla here. That's why I gun for Tesla versus the opposition, because the opposition, 95% of the cars, at best, 10% of the cars they sell are electric, at best. Steinbach adamantly denies the narrative that Tesla is receiving anything preferential. It is a matter of seeing the project succeed, as it will benefit so many in the region. We are interested in the project succeeding, he said. Of course, that also applies to the expansion, just as it did back then for the settlement. As for special treatment, Steinbach said for Tesla, it doesn't exist. There is no special treatment for Tesla, he said. Now, I want to make a point here that a lot of people don't seem to be aware of. Special interest groups, so-called green groups, say that Tesla's factory was only built because Tesla destroyed and cleared forests, which were for the habitats of snakes, lizards, and insects that once occupied the area. Now, it was a group of trees. It was a plantation. They were planted to make cardboard. It wasn't natural trees that have been there for hundreds of years or anything like that. It was a recent plantation put in to make cardboard. It was to be harvested with no public comment in the near future by original landowners before they sold the factory to Tesla. It's probably why Tesla thought it would be an issue, because it was a harvested plantation. Tesla was probably like, what? We didn't expect all this opposition. I mean, you realize this was a harvesting plantation. The Green Group is a German auto group funded propaganda tool that I think ignores anything that isn't to do with Tesla. If there's an environmental issue and it's a real one, they seem to just put on their sunnies and look the other way. Let me know your thoughts though. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.